Hello and welcome back to Shenae's channel. What are we doing today?
We are talking about money, honey.
Stay tuned to find out how to make some money doing what you love.
Today we are actually talking about the taboo topic of money and specifically how we make it. We're gonna break down all of our different revenue streams and tell you guys what percentages, I guess, of each revenue stream kind of make up our entire income. A lot of people were curious about how we planned on making money when we moved from LA to Nashville. We are freelancers, so our location doesn't really impact how we make money at all. Fortunately, it's given us a lot of freedom and flexibility, which is why we ultimately chose to do what we do for a living.
That being said, to a certain extent, location does make a difference. If we lived on like a desert island,
yeah, that would
with
be
no Wi-Fi
difficult.
And no one for me to take photos of. You know, being near a major city is definitely a plus.
It's been a great year for us work-wise, and a lot of people leave comments below wanting to explore different fields that we have been actively pursuing for the last few years. So I'm hoping that this provides some insight. We are super passionate about encouraging and empowering other people to make a living doing what they love and ultimately to fuel the lifestyle that they want for themselves. We're going to be doing a free webinar. You can click the link in the video description below. The webinar will be happening in a week's time. If you aren't able to make the live window, then we will have it recorded so you can tune in after the fact as well. So if you're watching this after July 21st, you can still click the link in the video description below and access that webinar. All right, let's jump into it. I feel like a good place to start is to talk about our history, because our former careers have definitely given us a lot of tools to take forward into our current career paths.
Oh, absolutely.
Josh started out as a model and a musician for many, many years. He was doing that very successfully, and he is now a photographer and art director. And I myself was an actor for many, many years, and I'm now a full-time content creator.
Modeling I kind of fell into, actually. I don't know if modeling is something that you could kind of seek out. I guess it is, but for me anyway, it happened organically. It wasn't really something I'd ever thought about. It was definitely something that my mum had brought up a lot, but all mums bring that up, don't they? 15 years later, I'm on the other side of the camera. Through the modeling, I learned set etiquette. I was able to assist very big photographers once I knew that I kind of wanted to start looking at photography as a career or learn more about photography. And at the beginning, it was kind of accidentally. Being on the other side of the camera for all that time really gave me this huge free education, actually an education I got paid for.
Yeah.
So I was incredibly, incredibly lucky. I've fallen into photography and art direction being my full-time job. I also feel like that was meant to be. And for me, you know, having a family and wanting to provide for them, the idea of doing modeling and music as my only source of income just would have freaked me out, I think. To feel like I am in control of my fate to a certain extent now is a huge weight off my shoulders. It worked out actually perfectly because I think I've been shooting professionally now for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Bowie's coming up on 3. Timing was amazing, and everything happens for a reason.
For me with the acting, I would definitely say that that's, again, given me kind of that hands-on education that I also got paid for, luckily, to be able to translate that to content creation, because so much of the content that I create is video driven. Josh is the photographer. He's like the still image guy and has the eye for that sort of thing, but I am definitely a storyteller, so I like moving image, now starting to dabble in podcasting, and storytelling is a really big part of all of that. So I think it's helped me with the basics, at least, of knowing camera and lighting and how to have charisma on camera.
Massively.
I guess that brings us to a good point of segueing to why we decided to switch our career paths.
Yes.
Josh decided to make the change a little bit before I did. I had kind of dabbled in content creation just as a blogger and more than anything as a creative outlet for myself while I was still acting. I didn't start to monetize that as a career path for myself until probably about 3 years ago. The ultimate change that happened right around that window is we knew that we prioritized our family above all else. And we wanted to start settling down. We knew we wanted to have kids, and we wanted a lifestyle that really allowed us to be physically present for our family. So much of our careers in the past involved a lot of travel. One year when you were modeling full time, you were on like 200 and something flights in a year.
Yeah.
Obviously with music, you have to tour, so you're never in one city for more than a couple of days. As an actor, you have to be ready to drop your entire life and go move to a completely different state or country at any given time for months and months on end. All of that didn't
sound
really,
ideal.
No.
And that does work for some people.
Totally.
Hat is off to you. I'm not even wearing a hat because that's
It's already off.
how much I respect you guys for making that work. For us, we just didn't feel like that was
No.
what we wanted.
Yeah.
We wanted a more traditional family dynamic, I
Yeah.
guess. Not in the sense that dad goes to work and mum stays at
No,
home
no,
and
no, no,
I'll
no.
bring back the meat because we don't even eat that much meat anyway. So one thing that was really important for me was that I actually spent time learning what was going to be my trade. I wanted to earn my stripes by studying.
Education is super, super important to be able to take you from a hobbyist into an expert or someone who is monetizing whatever that passion may be as an actual career path for themselves. So that's a perfect segue into introducing our sponsor for today's video, which is Skillshare. We have picked up a lot of different skills from using the Skillshare platform. It is an educational platform, so there are no ads. Everything from photography to video to editing to scripting YouTube videos like this one. If you're at all interested in taking a creative passion of yours and turning it into something that is refined and potentially monetizable, then you definitely want to check out Skillshare.com. They have classes for every skill level, and Skillshare is a membership with meaning. You can connect with other people in whatever area you're passionate about. So you can learn new tips and tricks from peers, you can network, you can start building that community for yourself, which has been so, so important for us in our careers. I'm currently taking a course on there that is learning Premiere Pro. It's called Learn Premiere Pro and Edit a How-To Video for Beginners, and it is taught by Hallis Narvaez. I've been using a different editing software for a while, and
It's rubbish.
it
isn't
sucks. It's not ideal. It takes a really long time and it glitches all the time and all that kind of
Reduces
stuff.
the quality that we
It
did.
does reduce the quality. So Josh has been on me to like learn a new editing software for a long time. I'm finally doing it thanks to Skillshare. Now that Bowie's in school, I have a little bit more time on my hands, so it allows me that freedom to just learn and keep refining our skills, keep educating ourselves, and keep ultimately getting better so that the content gets better for all of you guys. If you guys are interested in trying it out for yourself, the first 1,000 subscribers to click the link in the video description below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. Skillshare is our sponsor today, and that is a great way to introduce, I guess, our different streams of revenue. I would say that a vast majority of my current income comes from sponsorships like this one on YouTube videos. I have multiple different social media platforms that I use and monetize. YouTube is definitely a main one for us. We focus a lot of attention here. Video is far more intensive as far as the work requirements and the team requirements behind every video that we put out. That is something that was important to us to monetize relatively quickly. Putting a video together every week takes a lot of hours. Having sponsors that we believe in and that we love and use in our daily life is really important to us. We always want to maintain the integrity and trust that we share with our audience.
If we say that we use it, we use it.
We use it.
This isn't like us just trying to make a buck out of, you know,
No.
out of you guys. It's genuinely something that we use or something that we've been sent to try out before. That's the way we roll. We're not scam artists. I just don't believe in that. I just think it's horrible to be like, oh, this is the best hair thing I've ever had. And then you use it and you're like, oh, I'd never use that. But you're just then trying to sell it to people.
And that's a
like
really important lesson for anybody starting out. If you are starting out in this creative space of content creation, if you do not like a product, do not push it, do not promote it. It's a bad move, and it will come back to bite you in the ass later, because The trust that you have with this community here in your digital space is so, so valuable. The brands are the ones who pay us, but even though we're creating free content for you guys, ultimately we respect and view you the same way we would an employer, because without you guys tuning in every week, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
Well, I look at it a bit like if you worked in a store, like
Yeah.
a clothing store, for example, and someone came in and said, hey, can you help me look good for my mate's party? And then you put them in a load of things that made them actually look like a clown. Be horrible, wouldn't it?
It'd be horrible.
Yeah, it's not just not nice to do.
And you wouldn't have their business moving forward. It's a two-way street, ultimately. We've had comments before on this YouTube channel from people saying that they didn't like that there were ads in them, et cetera, et cetera. We totally understand where you guys are coming from, but ultimately, as with any social media platform, it's free. You're consuming free content all of the time, and in order for us to be able to continue creating free content for everybody on a weekly basis, putting all the hours in that we have to put in.
That's how you get paid.
Yeah, you gotta get paid, you gotta eat. When you see banners at the bottom of a YouTube video or commercials that come in where you can skip the ad, et cetera, in the middle of a video, those aren't our sponsors. Those are ads placed by YouTube to meet the same audience that we have, the demographics that we have, and we make a very small amount of AdSense revenue off of that stuff.
Tiny.
For some creators, it's significant.
If you're getting millions and millions of views, yes.
For us, it's very tiny.
And those are tailored specifically to you individually too.
Yes. If I'm posting regularly on YouTube, I would say YouTube is probably about 40% of my overall income. So that's YouTube. I also use multiple other platforms. Instagram is one of them. I use Instagram as like a personal thing. It really helps me to, again, engage with the community in my digital sphere. I DM with people a lot on there, send voice notes back and forth and stuff like that. So there's a very personal element to Instagram for me, but I do also have multiple ways of monetizing that as a content creator as well. So I would say Instagram probably makes up like 20 to 30% of overall revenue as well. And then I just launched a podcast, which is really, really exciting. I launched it with my former 90210 castmate. She's been a dear friend of mine for a long time, and it's really fun for us to get to just keep up with each other on a regular basis and now share content that we're passionate about, introduce listeners to guests that we're really passionate about on a weekly basis. Now that is a labor of love. That is something that does take up a lot of time because it's a massive learning curve for us. We've never podcasted before. I am used to doing the video thing, but with podcasting, it's all audio driven. As with any of these creative things, again, if you're at all interested in content creation, you have to put the work in first, probably with just any career path, because I would say the same goes for photography. Like you have to put that grind in, take that time to learn.
I saw something funny the other day on the internet. It said, there's no way I'm going to do a 9 to 5. And then it was like someone working 23 hours a day because they wanted to do content creation.
That sums it up.
I feel like what I do is different. I think that is seen a little bit more as like a traditional job to a certain extent, because people can understand, oh, he goes out of the house to take photos of somebody and that's why he gets paid. But with the content creation stuff, I have the utmost respect for you and for other people who do that as a living, because it's a lot of work. You can do everything to your standard that you think is great, and then the brand go, actually, we've changed this slightly, can you do this? Then you've got to bring the lights back out. You've got to find the time to re-record that, re-edit it.
You put it out for your audience and they don't like it. It's like,
it's work. It's work.
Continue refining and learning.
It's the same work as acting is.
Yeah. The podcast right now, I wouldn't say factors much into our overall revenue, obviously, but the intention there is, of course, to monetize it same way with more traditional ads. So that's another revenue stream that I'm hoping by next year will start to take up at that 20-30% mark as well. We will be doing some merch, which is exciting, and we've dabbled in that kind of space before. So that's again another small little chunk of revenue that we bring in. And I'm now doing some collaborations with third-party brands. So I have a candle out right now with a candle company that I love called the 125 Collection.
Smells amazing.
It smells so incredible. There's 5 different scents to choose from. Vanilla and tobacco is my favorite. I'll link to that down below. And I'm also launching a onesie very soon with a brand that was pretty much the only item of clothing I put Bowie in for the first year of her life. Stay tuned for that, because that's going to be launching in the next couple of weeks. Diversifying income is really important, I think, as a content creator, because you can't control what is happening on a platform. You don't own a specific social media platform. So things could change, the algorithm could change, they might change what you are and are not allowed to do, FTC guidelines, et cetera, et cetera. So it's important to diversify. I also have a blog for that reason. I love to write, so it's a great creative outlet for me, but it's also an awesome home base to just kind of
Links to
have
all
of my, all of my platforms, all of my content,
all the photos
shared in
we
one
take,
space, all the photos we take, and also start an email list because that's the one thing I own. I'm giving away a lot of secrets right now, so I'm going to shut up. It will all be covered extensively in the webinar that we have next week. So again, click the link.
The webinar is going to be more about how you can,
take your passion, take your hobby, take something you're interested in, and turn it into an actual career for yourself.
Yeah, if you are just working a normal, like a more traditional 9 to 5, or you've just got out of school, or you're still in school and you're looking to get into the fields that we're in or something in the entertainment industry.
We want to pass along some of that free education to you.
Share the love. It's all about sharing the love. That's a huge thing for me when it comes to what I do. So photography and art direction are my main sources of income now. When I started photography, looking at it as a job, I was still bringing in modeling jobs and there was still a little bit of music going on. I have music royalties that still come in from an album that I did about 6 years ago with my band Beech. It's not enough to like live off of. So photography is my main income, and the other aspect of what I do is art direction, and that is where people will brand or an influencer. For example, with Shenae, she just had her candle collaboration, so I did the art direction for that. I decided how it was visually going to all come together and how the campaign would look alongside the brand and Shenae. So that's how I would do that with an influencer. With a brand, they would say, okay, this is our spring summer collection. We want a whole refresh look. So I would sit with the brand, we would discuss how they want it to look, what is their vision, how they would like to see it executed, and then I would execute that. A lot of the time that ends up with me doing the photography, but sometimes it means that I'm not suited actually to that style of photography, but I know somebody who is, so I will bring them in. Or I know somebody's really great at videos and this brand in particular needs to run video ads on Instagram, so I'd bring in a great video guy. Another aspect of revenue for me is the consulting, and that is where somebody in the industry comes to me and just wants to brainstorm basically with me and take ideas from me or flush out their ideas with me. That's a small part of my revenue for sure, but it's definitely part of my revenue. Art direction is kind of the whole package. Photography is normally like a one-off thing. A lot of them are recurring, or it could be a musician needs their new promo shot and then that turns into, okay, can you do the album cover? And I'm very grateful for that.
Our creative passions have been able to earn a living for our family. Again, our family is what we've prioritized every step of the way as we've made this transition over the last few years. And it allows us to be home with Bowie and drop her off and pick her up from school and be around or go to the zoo on a Thursday. That freedom and flexibility was really important for us. Yes, there's still a lot of hustle and grind and hours of work that need to be put in, but that 9 to 5 sitting in a cubicle behind a desk thing was just not going to be conducive to how we wanted to raise our children. So we just feel so lucky that we had the tools and the resources in our back pockets to be able to bring this reality to fruition for ourselves.
Incredibly grateful.
And that's why we're so passionate about empowering other people to do the same thing. This pandemic has definitely shown people what they want to prioritize moving forward. And for a lot of people, that is freedom and flexibility and mental health and relationships, your personal life. We know so many tricks of the trade of how to turn your passion, your interest, your hobbies into a monetizable career path for yourself, and we want to be able to provide that education for people.
If you can do something you love to make a living, you'll never work a day in your life, and that's
boom.
That's a fact. It's a fact.
Dropping bombs.
Yeah.
So we hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We hope you found it informational, entertaining, educational in some way, whatever it might be. We hope you
maybe you were just curious.
Yeah, maybe you were just curious.
And maybe we've scratched that curiosity for you.
But I hope we've just inspired you to do what you want for yourself.
Exactly. I hope you see it like that and not us sitting and bragging like, oh, we don't have to go into the office every day. It's not about that at all. We're incredibly grateful we don't have to do that.
Yes.
But we also do actually have offices in our house. So we do go to the office.
There's no clocking
Does anybody go to the office every day?
I don't think I
That's
don't
a
think
thing
people
anymore,
do
is it?
anymore.
No.
No. You are creative, you are capable, and
you can make anything a job if you just work
Absolutely.
hard at it. And we'll go into that.
July 21st.
A lot of it is just working hard, being willing to do some stuff for free,
Yes.
and being positive, having that positive mindset.
We will hopefully see you guys in the webinar on the 21st. There will be an ample Q&A period as well. So if you have any specific questions for us, you can communicate with us live directly there.
Yes,
we can't
yes.
wait to see you and chat with you. Thank you again for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss keeping up with our family
Is this
every
coming
week.
out after or before?
After.
After. So we're hoping that this
We're
was
hoping
good
that
luck.
it came home.
I mean, if you know us, you know.
Yes.
You know. You know.
Thank you guys for watching.
See you later.